Over in America, our stronger, younger brother of the United Kingdom, what we are seeing is a circus unfold. We are seeing the leader of the country, the president, Joe Biden, disintegrate before our very eyes. And we've known this for quite a while now. We've seen the slips, the gaffes. We've seen him just trip over the most basic sentences. But it's the problems, the gaffes have accelerated to a point where it's really becoming, a red alert situation.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
We then saw, following this debate, and a lot of people, really pricking up their ears, some people criticizing him, even from the centrist establishment, really asking questions as to, if we really want to win, do we really want somebody who's disintegrating? It's not really a confidence vote. He then did a press conference where he's answering questions, and it was actually worse. It was actually worse than the debate itself, whereby you saw gaffes like this.
My question for you is, how are you incorporating these developments into your decision to stay? And separately, what concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one. The fact is that the consideration is that I think I'm the most qualified person to run for president. I beat him once, and I will beat him again.
And then you saw gaffes like this.
I've said before, Russia will not prevail in this war. Ukraine will prevail in this war, and we'll stand with them every single step of the way. That's what the compact says, loudly and clearly. And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. We're going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
So clearly, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure out that something is not, flowing well in the mind of Joe Biden. So clearly we need a replacement. That's the most logical step, unless you don't care enough about democracy and you don't care enough about the threat of Trump. Because let's be very clear, I hate both parties, but it's clear to me even that Trump is a lot worse. He's more genocidal, more against workers' rights, more in favor of ecological disaster by favoring tax cuts, by favoring fossil fuel corporations. He's had millions poured into his campaign by fossil fuel corporations. It's not a joke. So clearly we want to see, if in the short term, until we see a broad left coalition, we want to see Joe Biden, or rather the Democrats, win. But Joe Biden's not going to win against Trump because nobody will vote for a corpse. Nobody will vote for somebody who's not functioning. It does not provide confidence, even in the minds of people who don't agree with Trump's policies, will want somebody who's competent, somebody whose brain is functioning, somebody who does not trip over the most basic sentences. That's common sense. You want also to not feel the establishment is just laughing in your face when they put forward somebody who's very clearly supported, propped up by his handlers. So this is why I'm very disappointed, because this is all very clear to anyone with basic common sense. You don't have to be particularly smart. But you've got Bernie Sanders endorsing Joe Biden. This is really disappointing because Bernie Sanders is one of the better of the bunch. He's not the best. He's not, Jill Stein, the leader of the Green Party. He's not Cornel West. He's not, some of the, more progressive candidates wanting to, take some votes in the next general election. But he does have a brain. He does, you can see he's functioning. You can see that he's rhetorically on point, and he's lacking in a lot of areas. He's lacking in terms of his criticism of Israel's actions. He's lacking in a lot of areas. He's not even basically good. He's just, but he's better. He's better than a lot of these politicians. And he should not insult our intelligence by saying that, you want to put forward Joe Biden, because it doesn't matter if Joe Biden is arrogant. It doesn't matter if Joe Biden really wants to hold a seat. But this is good parenting. If you see a toddler who's acting really abrasive, very, just push, throwing out the, toys out of the pram, you still have to not go along with the plan of the toddler, because that toddler may hurt themselves in the process. Clearly, of course, the toddler in this case is in charge of the most strongest country in the world, and it does not provide confidence. It actually gives more energy into conspiratorial thinking, which is very common in the right wing. The right wing obviously does not care about nuance or facts. It fills the gaps where there's a lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, lack of facts, and so they will naturally gravitate towards this, cabal of people controlling Joe Biden. And to some degree, you have the establishment in the form of the institutions, the corporations, the donor class. You've got AIPAC, you've got the CIA, you've got the military-industrial complex. They all hold the strings over Joe Biden. But at least we want the illusion of democracy. The illusion of democracy is better than seeing the House of Cards as blatant as possible, because otherwise it's just an insult. So I'm very disappointed by Bernie Sanders, but it's clear that he's compromised. He's just another tool of the establishment. I have to wonder what dirt is on Bernie Sanders now. I'll say this before I end. I don't think Joe Biden will win, or rather will be the one running come November general election. I feel like he'll be replaced from now until then. That's my gut feeling. I could be wrong, because it's too much of an insult. It's too much of an insult to the nation, to your sense of patriotism. People will just vote Trump for the sake of having somebody who's actually functional, even if you're not a right-winger. Centrists will just start voting for him. So that's not reassuring. But I think he'll be replaced. Trump is obviously needs to be he needs to be taken seriously as a threat, and so we don't want him, obviously. And if Democrats actually cared, they would replace Joe Biden in an instant with even Kamala Harris, even though she's not likable. At least she's functioning. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. That'd be very much appreciated. We're going to follow this. We're going to follow the politics in the UK, where we've also got another dysfunctional element, where you got Keir Starmer, who's kind of like the functioning Joe Biden, the functioning Macron, but he's facing a tide of the far right that is not going to be particularly good. This is why we need a broad left coalition in both the US, UK, just as we're seeing in France. France are leading an example. are a leading example of this fact. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.